Kenya Marine, whereby these are some of the ingredients that we are harvesting from the sea ecosystem. These are algae, but different species, whereby they are different, they contain different crude protein for the fish. And we normally use these in feeds formulation, whereby we take them, we dry them in the oven. After we dry them, then we bring them, we are going to see there, into a mortar and a pestle, whereby we crush them to be finer powder, whereby we can use in feeds formulation for rabbit fish. We understand that rabbit fish are demersal fish, whereby they look their food in algae, whereby more in the places that we find corals and sea grasses. Okay, so for them, because we want to culture them in a controlled system, we have thereby to formulate feeds of that it's more looks of the natural, whereby these are algae and the herbivorous in nature, whereby we use the algae to formulate, to mix up with other ingredients for feeds formulation to see that if it will be more palatable and acceptable in FCR for them. Okay, now this is our sun drying panel system, whereby after we harvest these algae and sea grasses and the seaweeds from the marine ecosystems, we normally put them here so that at least it can reduce the moisture content that is having with it. Then after a while, whereby after the sun drying, we lose some bit of the moisture on it before it reaches the point whereby it can be brittle and crunchable, so that before we grind it with the mortar and pestle, we normally take it then to the oven, whereby that process can be facilitated. And also the algae, not only can it be fed to the rabbit fish, but also it can be fed to all herbivorous fish in the maybe the pond, maybe if you are culturing them in a pond or in a cage system.
Ongeza ile kitu sasa, unachapa nini hapo?
You take the dried algae from the oven, where you can put it in this mortar and pestle, because they are totally dry, so that we can break them into finer particles, so that it can be effective for feeds formulation for rabbit fish and then other herbivorous fish. Join me. To our pelletizing machine. After we have mixed the several ingredients for the feed formulation, we normally take the feeds there as a mixture of different ingredients, and we pelletize them before taking them to the sun drying, whereby we dry them for more. We normally dry our feeds in this manner, whereby we put them separately in a space whereby to avoid any dampness, or in a way that they may grow molded. And as we know, when mold grows and when fish they feed, it can be poisonous to them. Eventually we can face some mortalities. So we normally dry them in a spacely way, whereby at least they can get enough sunlight for them to dry before packaging them and storing them for feeds as time they are needed. Okay, after we have sun dried and formulated these feeds, we put them in a sun drying pan for almost 4 to 3 days depending on the temperatures. After they have really dried well, there's not any humidity inside them, whereby we try as much as possible to avoid any moisture content on it, because when you store them and they have moisture content on them, it's easier for growth of molds, and molds can facilitate to mortality. After that, this is how we feed them. These are our rabbit fish. We feed that simple as that. Because these fish are the mussel fish, they're just going to feed the feeds after they drop down there.